It's the Undisputed Era!
Cole, Fish, Strong, O'Reilly! They're here in Blackpool!
Oh, the Era are here to prove a point, to make a statement!
Imperium and the Undisputed Era! Oh!
Incredible!
Welcome back, everybody, to the War Report. No notes app apologies needed here. As you know, my name, I am your host, Murjani Rawls. I'm always joined by my main man, Cyrus. Cyrus, what is going on? How are you feeling?
I'm all elite, baby.
About to say
I'm all elite.
I was excited for the show because, as we teased last week, Cyrus was going to Bash at the Beach.
Yeah, I went to Bash at the Beach.
I can't wait. I cannot wait to hear what your live report was in just a bit. Because, I mean, we have a lot to get through in the show. We have some news.
Yeah.
We got Takeover Blackpool
A pay-per-view.
II.
Uh-huh.
We got, of course, Bash at the Beach, AOW Dynamite. And then we got an NXT show that had a huge battle royal, which I enjoyed a lot. I don't know if, particularly Stans enjoyed it based on what happened, but I thought it was pretty dope. Go.
I don't know how you could see the result of that battle royale and be like, yeah, I hated this, So, I liked it a lot. There's a lot of things that I liked about a battle royale, just like a lot of the small things.
Yeah,
a
lot of nods.
A lot of small things that I'll probably get. I'll say when we actually watch it. I mean, go over it.
All right, so before we get into real news, not to say that this isn't real news, but something happened last night around 6:17 p.m. and I think that we would be amiss if we didn't touch on it. So the A-Guys show, A-Show-Guys did a really good episode talking about Tessa Blanchard and basically the controversy about her basically saying the N-word to a female superstar and
spitting at her.
And then the many stories that came out after Chelsea Green and Sienna did the initial tweets. So TNA had a pay-per-view. This was pretty much a foregone conclusion that she was going to win the title. They had built it. It's funny because Impact has a tendency of prolonging things. So when everybody was watching, I believe, Slammiversary, when she fought Sami Callihan, who is problematic in his own reasons.
Everybody.
They were expecting her to win the title then. She didn't, and then they built up to this whole long thing. So that happened. She won the title. She did this promo saying that everybody makes mistakes, basically kind of throwing fuel to the fire. And then she writes this apology that looks like it was written in Microsoft Word or a Microsoft document, and it's not a notes app. So I'll read it real quick for everybody, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. So Tessa wrote, "Over the last week, I've been accused of calling a fellow wrestler a racial slur. To read this allegation, this personally been upsetting. To be clear, I absolutely did not use that word. That word is not in my vocabulary. That word is not in my heart. Racism is not in my heart. Yet I know many people who have to deal with racism in a way that I will never have. Racism is an awful part of Americans' history, and it is equally awful that it is still a part of our society today. While I did not do what was claimed, I stand ready to use my platform to support the fight against racism however I can." That's one Tessa Blanchard. Before I give my thoughts, I want Cyrus, go ahead, What do you think about that? I don't even know if I could call it an apology. I think it's very, very not committed to that.
It's a statement. Definitely not an apology. I think it's very clear if you follow me on Twitter or just you can tell by my tone that I don't believe anything that she is saying. When the allegations initially first came out, she said that I didn't do it. I ain't talking about it no more. You know, like straight up like that. Like people are using this to gain popularity, you know, clout. You know, she was very dismissal of the whole thing, and I think once once one of those bookings fell through, like where they took her off the show for you know, just like these allegations in general, she was just like, oh snap, I should probably say something, and I just think it's BS. You know, people say that, oh, you know, there's two sides of the story, or you know, I need to see more evidence. I'm just like, what more evidence do you need? We got like 5 people confirming the story. We got the victim going, describing the situation in detail. You know, wrestlers setting up peace talks between the two, which I ain't setting up no peace talk. Y'all either beat up Tessa for me or, you know, there ain't no talking. I just think it's ridiculous at this point. Tessa has never I have never seen her actually fight against racism before, so I'm just like whatever. But on the A show, I think they go into really more in depth about it, about you know stuff that Joey Ryan said, Moose. AEW's Big Swole, Impact's Dynamite. Yeah. Sorry, I don't really know her name.
You're good.
That's okay. You know, people that really came to her defense saying whatever, shit cap, and I'm just like, well, okay. I just think it's absolutely ridiculous, and you know, it's. Impact is Impact. I also think her winning the title in Impact is whatever, because I remember Lucha Underground doing the same thing for Sexy Star when she won where I think she cashed in the Gift of the Gods championship and won the main title, then she lost it in the next week, but you know, it's whatever. And it turns out they're two bad people. Not great at all.
What gets me about the statement is the last sentence. While I did not do what was claimed, I stand ready to use my platform to support the fight of racism however I can. That seems very aforementioned to me. It seems like, okay, even though you accused me and I didn't do this, the least I can do is fight racism for you. It's a privilege. It's something that, you know,
I will be your white savior.
Well, yeah, it comes off, and the tweet that you even referenced from where she kind of shrugged it off when, her and Chelsea were going in, she deleted it. So...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, she obviously kind of realized that it was wrong, you know. Impact, I can't really hold them up to any moral standard because if you look at their history, they're kind of known for doing this stuff. They put, you know, a visibly drunk Jeff Hardy fighting in a title match against Sting, you know, and that's, you know, the least that they've done. They just got thrown off Twitch because of the Rob Van Dam thing, you know, there are many, of course, there are many stories that are about Tessa. I don't know if if she may take this as a learning experience, especially that, you know, white people shouldn't say the N-word, even though about 6 people confirmed the story. So, there's something to it. But even if this is disputed. There are many stories about her not being as complimentary as the initial tweet that set everything off. Hey, women, try supporting one another. Cool things happen. Because obviously that she doesn't. Now, I've been complimentary about the past. Okay, I thought it was really cool that Impact was putting the world title on the female wrestler. I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool. She was actually wrestling particularly well leading up to that. But, you know what I mean, as a black man, to hear that she said the N-word to a black woman, you know what I mean, a black woman wrestler, that's off-putting. We, you know, like, as progressive as everybody thinks that wrestling is, she, you know what I mean, I think La Negra, I'm sorry if I forgot her name, but
Las Rosa Negra.
La Rosa Negra was afraid to say something because she thought she was going to get blacklisted because for speaking out about Tessa saying the N-word. And especially like with stories in Japan, wrestlers are afraid to get blacklisted. And we could go into a whole thing about like racism in Japan if we could. But
I think Stardom is, you know, I applaud them for like, oh, that happened? Yeah, you can't come over here anymore.
Yeah, Tessa's not been back.
Yeah, but also I don't think Las Rosas Negra has been back either. So, hey, Stardom, what's going on?
Yeah, so I just wanted, I mean, just to get that out of the way since that happened, and I felt like that was top.
And just like a little, you know, just like a little footnote. What was it? Renee Michelle, Drake Maverick's wife, also like came out and like, you know, talked about a little situation like where she had like a little altercation with Tessa as well, and you know, there's I think Casey from what is it? Square Circle Sirens. A publication that mainly talks about women's wrestling, has been very vocal about, like, you know, Tessa being a bad person for a really long time, and, you know, it always just, like, you know, just washed away on the TL, like, you know, nobody really ever talked about it.
Yeah, because, like, the name, you know what I mean? Tully Blanchard, you know what I mean? Like, she is, like, a good wrestler. She really is. But, like, at the same time, because you're a good wrestler and because you're good at something, doesn't mean, and because you have a family name that means something, that doesn't mean that you should stick your nose down at everybody. Like, look at Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair kills herself to get people over. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and, you know, get people to like her. Like, you know, when she talked about the Oscar, like going over Oscar, she was just like, hey, yo, you sure? You know, Tessa is a quote-unquote good wrestler, and, you know, people think that's an excuse for her to, you know, I don't care that you did this and that, you know, you're a good wrestler, you know, they're just spoiling on your big day, but what is it? Like you said, as progressive as, you know, people think wrestling is, like, people are going to defend their friend even though they're in the wrong, no matter what. See Joey Ryan, Moose, whatever the girl name is, Hogan, and Gal Kim. Like, I just think it's, like, ridiculous. And then, you know, she releases a statement basically saying, that black bitch lying. And everybody's just like, yep, that's it. She put a, like, you know, there's two sides of the story, but, like, they don't care about, like, the other side at all. Like, they see Tessa's statement and just like, yep, so it didn't happen. Wrestling is dumb. It's so dumb.
all right, let's get into some AOW news that recently happened. So, AOW has signed a new multi-year deal with TNT. It's going to keep it on the air until 2023. With this deal, that means that it will launch a new weekly show to go along with Dynamite. There's still some scarce things. I read that Maybe that, and TNT kind of wanted dark on wanted dark on the network, but ALW pushed back on that and wanted to keep it a web series. So yeah, they are going to be sticking around for at least 4 more years.
I guess we won't see the fall of AEW anytime soon. I think it's wild that they don't want to put Dark on on a network. I think Dark is doing some really cool stuff. Like I got there earlier. I thought I got to the arena before Dark, but I was wrong. Wrestling starts at 8. Who would have thought? They're doing some really cool stuff on Dark, and why wouldn't you want to put that on TV? Like, I think it's absolutely ridiculous, and I think whatever they plan on doing for their second show, yikes, because that roster is very thin. God knows.
So I thought about this a little bit, and a lot of people, we have, and other people have kind of complained about storylines and how they build in. And I actually don't think that you put Dark on TNT. I think that you put things like being the Elite on TNT and having that abridged to being Dynamite, because being the Elite has a lot of storyline stuff, and a lot of people miss it. And I got tired of people saying, watch Being the Elite for this and that. So if you want to do something different and you want to kind of have a different flair to your product, which All Elite Wrestling kind of builds itself as, it builds itself as like the counter programming of what you've already seen. Put that on TNT. TNT is known for drama. I mean, like, they have reruns of, I guess, like Law and Order and things like that. So if you want to kind of like introduce a little like storyline to it, put that on the network. Like, Being an Elite drops at when? Like, noon?
Do not ask me.
Yeah, like, I think noon on Monday. And if I don't see like clips or stuff on it, like, put through like wrestling websites, I don't normally see it. You know what I mean? They've been having like the Hangman storyline building up to that on Being the Elite, or like hints of the Dark Order, and people having like Dark Order stuff searched on their phone on Being the Elite. But the regular fan who doesn't have time to watch that is not going to see it. So put it on TNT. You know what I mean?
If you don't have time to watch it on YouTube, I don't think you're going to be watching it on TNT. Well, I'm sorry. That's just how I...
Okay, well, maybe not, but like the fan that religiously watches AOW every single week, that might...
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that will entice them to get into storylines more. I don't... Like you said, with the roster currently constructed as it is, I don't think another hour wrestling show would benefit them. You have to pad out the roster. You can't just have an extension of Dark on the network, because then why the hell am I watching Dark? I could just watch like an hour on TNT. You know what I mean? So I don't think that you should have just straight wrestling on whatever the show is for an hour. You know what I mean? Like, and don't make it a Nitro.
That's why I think they should just have Dark. Whatever it is, like whatever is going to be announced, it's going to be something weird. Like, I just know that for a fact.
Don't make it a Nitro. Don't. People who complain about Raw being 3 hours, I mean, watching 3 hours of All Elite Wrestling where they already tried to pad out Dynamite a little bit. So, like, if they're going to do another wrestling thing, and I don't think this is going to come soon, it'll probably come like a year later, pad out that roster. with good people, good workers, and stuff like that, and get them invested in the show already, and then you can expand. That's just
yeah. Hopefully, this new AEW show doesn't come in the fall. Hopefully, it comes at the start of next year. Hopefully, I didn't read the report. I just heard about the extension. I
mean, because you got to
good luck.
Well, you got to think TNT. They have basketball. You're going to get killed by that. Then you have to worry about football. Monday nights, Sunday nights. You got to consider all this. You know what I mean? Because TNT's crowning jewel is basketball. A lot of people watch inside the NBA and premier basketball stuff, especially in the spring. So, and then you also have to consider March Madness, because that is across all of Turner Networks. So, you know what I mean? You have to kind of get in where you fit in and figure out strategy and how it's just, to keep up. You don't want to put a show that just kind of doesn't get ratings and then kind of takes away from Dynamite. You have to come up with a different strategy.
Yeah. Good luck to them, because if it's being the elite with a high budget, I ain't watching, bruh.
So the last bit of news here, Taz signed a multi-year contract with AEW.
Woo!
So I think that they will, I guess with the new show, he could be added there. I think that he does a phenomenal job on commentary for when I've heard him, because it sounds like he really cares about the product. He does his research. I'm not sure what kind of capacity that they're going to use him. I've seen comments where they're like, move Excalibur to Dark, get JR off the table, and put him on there. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to go to a 4-man. That would be insane.
No.
But yeah, use Taz's brain in any capacity that you could think. What are your thoughts?
I think when I was there, Taz was there, so that was obviously a surprise to me to see. I didn't see that he signed a deal. I think Taz is just going to be dark, permanent dark commentator, or he'll fill in when weird weeks when Tony Schiavone isn't there or anything like that. I agree with everybody else. I would really love to get Jim Ross off the table. I didn't have to hear his commentary this week, so that was really fun. Taz is just very enthusiastic about what he's saying on AEW, and it kind of makes me excited. He sounds like he's having a lot of fun, and he cares, and moves that he's obviously probably seen before still wows him, and I think that's really cool. When he commentates women matches is way more tasteful than JR. So obviously I'm all for that, but they ain't get rid of Jim Ross.
No, I didn't. I don't expect them to.
Yeah.
I really don't expect them to do that. I think that 2 people will be on Dark, and 2 people will be, or 3 people might be on the main show until they figure out what they are actually doing with this new show. So we got a whole lot of NXT to get into, but I want to get into Dynamite first, because I am itching to hear your live report. Your live report from Bash at the Beach. So we'll talk about some stuff in detail, because one thing that I'm going to be complimentary on Dynamite. I think as a whole, I think they did a lot better job at doing concurrent threads in the show. There's a lot of stuff that tied together. There's a lot of storylines that ran throughout the show. I'm like, you know what? This makes sense. You know what I mean? They are actually trying to get you invested. There's a particular thing that was not good, but I want to hear your live report. How was it?
Okay, so I go into the Watco Center. Cyrus and Bubba Kush goes to indoor AEW wrestling. I go to the Watco Center. There's no elevator, so that sucked. I was there for dark, and I saw a really good match between Nyla Rose and Shauna in a tables match, which I think, like, why isn't this feud on the main show? Like, people obviously pop for the tables all the time, so I think it's weird that, it's kind of restricted to Dynamite. Like you said earlier, as woke and progressive as people try to make wrestling seem, there is a lot of toxicity and sexism going on in the crowd, and particularly in my section. I think any chant that you probably heard on the show probably started in my section because guys wanted to get themselves over, so that kind of stunk.
I hate that.
Yeah, it was really bad, and I could see the empty seats in the crowd, and I was just like, damn, I should just go over there.
How was the beach atmosphere? I know a lot of people have talked about, okay, why do Bash at the Beach in January? But it is Miami, so how was the feng shui of the beach? That
I did like the set. Obviously, I loved the the 80s Miami aesthetic with like the blue and the hot pink. Everybody was like in their like shorts and sandals, and I was just like, the arena was pretty cold, bruh. So I was just like, what are you guys doing? Cody obviously came out in his Miami Vice kind of swag. When they did, like if you ever attend a wrestling show live, they usually do entrances for announcers. So Jim Ross looks visibly mad that he's like wearing shorts and a t-shirt when he keeps his cowboy hat.
You know what the funny thing
there's
is?
just like a lot of bittersweet. Go ahead.
You know what the funny thing is? On the broadcast, Tony Schiavone was loving it. Tony Schiavone was Bash at the Beach, baby. Like, he was loving it.
I wish I got to hear just a little bit of commentary, just like during when like the crowd was silent or something, just to like block out the dudes in my section. I think like people that like really love women's wrestling, like they're front row, and I need to be over there because these dudes in my section were being just like one of the cons from being at a live event. Some people are just douchebags. The wrestling, like I think for the opening match, everybody was on their feet, of course, like spot after spot after spot, which I wasn't going up for because if you've seen the Baron Corbin tweet, like I'm just like, why don't you cover him, bruh? Like I can't say I had a bad time, but I didn't have like a joyous time. It was cool. I think. Well, what is it? That guy Justin Roberts, the one, the announcer,
Mr. John Moxley. Yeah.
Yeah. He does a really good job with crowd engagement just during long slow periods of time. That's about it. I think that's like the only things that you really miss when you're not there live. You get to duck the crowd. You get to see wrestle. Like I like basically you get the Fight TV version of it without the commentary.
Okay.
And I think like Fight TV is the very superior way to watch. Would I go to an AEW event again? Probably not alone. I did text some friends and some, but I already bought the ticket. So I just I went alone. So next time I'll probably invite probably like 5 friends, so I could like block people. So I could like kind of like block people out. Yeah, going to a wrestling show alone kind of sucks.
So like, before we get into the show, like 2 more questions. How did the entrances come off live? Like I know Cody has like this big bombastic entrance every single time. And those entrance themes, because some of them are okay, some of them are very generic.
Well, I think I don't like AEW themes.
I hate. Big fan of Hikaru Shida. Hate her theme. Hate it.
Oh yeah, it's very like generic, like Japanese wrestler. Which is just like yikes. But I'm not a big fan of AEW themes. I think I've pointed out many times, if you listen very closely, Britt Baker's theme is just like an abridged version of Cody's. I hate MJF's theme. Cody's theme, though, I thought it was very like over the top, especially since it was just a talking segment. Just the amount of pyro was like wild. And I think on the show, like only like 3 people got pyro. Nyla Rose got pyro on Dark. Cody got some pyro, and I think Moxley maybe. I wasn't too sure. I don't remember.
So,
but
yeah, go ahead.
The pyro for Cody's thing, since it was very over the top, it made the arena very smoky. So it was kind of hard to see at some points.
It came off like that in the broadcast. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of smoke here.
Yeah.
There's also, I don't know what happened, but watching at home and the break between basically Pac and Darby Allin, there's a good 3 minutes of nothing happening until Pac comes out. It is just like, oh, I'm like, did they lose? Like, what happened? I was like, I was like confused. I was like, is this match happening? Are they going to throw it to the back? I don't know.
I definitely think they went to commercial break, because I think the only thing I remembered before the super annoying dude finally left my section. Did you guys see like Pac like staring at Darby Allin's board?
No.
And then okay, so this you probably see on the Fight TV version, which is like ridiculous. I think when the match was announced, like that it was happening next, Pac stares at Darby Allin's board, and then camera cut, and all you hear is a snap. And I was just like, so you guys not gonna like film Pac actually breaking it, so you just played a generic snap sound? And I said that to myself, like I muttered it to myself, and the dude in my section heard me. He was just like, yeah, that was very stupid, and then I never saw him for the rest of the show. But and then our Darby Allin entrance happens, and then he's using his skateboard. So
it's like that sounds like a glitch in the
that
Matrix.
was weird.
Like it was like okay.
Yeah. They showed Pac like snapping the board, and then Darby Allin just has one during his entrance, like whatever.
It was literally a wide shot for 3 minutes, for what I saw. I didn't see
basically
any of that. Let's get the bad out first, because there's, like I said, there's some good. I thought the Nightmare Collective versus Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander. I was very into the show. I just want to say that right off the bat. I love the opener. I liked, even though I'm kind of wishy-washy on the Hangman storyline, I'm like, okay, cool. Then the Cody segment was cool. But this, first off, Awesome Kong, she tries, but she's also very injured. So Brandy tweeted out, she's like, you know what? I'm going to step up. I'm going to be in this tag match. This match killed the momentum. It's funny because it's in the middle of the show. It killed the momentum of the show. It almost killed the momentum of Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander. They tried as much as they could. Mel is trying to be like the Haas, but it seems like she's very stiff. And then
it doesn't have a very good moveset either.
Yeah, she doesn't. She tried to work hard, but she doesn't have a great moveset to kind of complement Hikaru and Chris. Brandy is just bad. Brandy is not that great in the ring. I'm sorry, she isn't. And the crowd does not like this Nightmare Collective stuff.
The crowd was very, being in the arena, like, the crowd was very silent. Like, some people did try to start chants or whatever, but, like, I saw some footage, I saw a clip of, like, JR kind of, like, just talking smack about, like, the wrestlers in the ring during the match, and I was just like, that's wild. But, like, it's dead silent on the broadcasting, and it was very much like that for a lot of the match. Brandy Rhodes, I super appreciate her, like, stepping up, but, like, I wish she did it, because she was wrestling, like, the only buttons on her controller is square and the sticks. Like, I think for the whole, like, match, all she did was, like, stomp, and, like, probably, like, a forearm. Like, she was not ready to wrestle that night.
And she was waiting for that spear spot. Spear spot. I think it was the right call for Hikaru and Chris to win here. But the fact that they beat Nightmare Collective, I'm like, okay, Nightmare Collective lost. Where did they go?
It's all over, baby.
Where did they go from here? You know what I mean? They already don't have... I think the worst thing to have... It's bad to have go-away heat. To have no heat at all in your heel faction is death. So, like, I don't know where they go from here. I imagine that they will keep on messing with Chris and maybe messing with Hikaru. But I don't, like, as far as this faction goes, and there are already a lot of cultist factions on ALW already, I don't know what you do. I'm shocked that Luther only, like, ran the interference once, and I was like, during the beginning of the match for Hikaru Shida's entrance, just like, ooh, and then, like, they started jumping Chris at. Well, I thought that was, like, super silly, but, like, I definitely think Nightmare Collective should have won here just to, like, get some heat at least. Right now, it just seems like the big bad is finished, and, like, we don't know when Awesome Kong is going to be, ready to go again. So it's just like, when does Nightmare Collective get there? When are they going to be on top again?
Yeah,
if they ever really were, like, that's kind of subjective, but, like, it was weird.
Yeah, it sucks that the person who's the dominant one wasn't able to be in the actual match. Maybe it was booked differently if Awesome Kong was going to be in it. I'm not sure, and then they called an audible, but I just don't think that this was a good look for them to lose this match, because now you're, okay, what do we do? Going off that, what I thought was good is the continuing saga of Adam Page, I guess his drinking problem, and tensions with the Elite. I thought, like you hinted at, the four-way with Young Bucks, Santana Ortiz, Kenny Omega, and Hangman Page are best friends. It got the crowd hot. As, people pointed out, a lot of spots. Things. I like the story that it told with Hangman kind of where Kenny and the Young Bucks have this interaction, but they don't fight each other. Hangman try to tag himself in and essentially costing the Young Bucks a shot at the title.
Like stealing the win from him,
Yeah.
more or less.
And then,
Which I think Kenny wouldn't have the heart to do. So I do like, Hangman taking the initiative and like trying to actually go for the win while Kenny is basically, these are my friends, so, whatever.
yeah, like even that, and even the backstage interaction with Kenny trying to be complimentary with SCU, and then, Hangman Page, assumingly a very drunken Hangman Page, came saying, like, man, screw all that. Like, we're going to beat your ass.
Yeah, fuck that shit. I want to win the championship. Like, we were going to beat you. We're going to kick your ass next week. I don't, like, I'm not going to lie, I do like this energy from Hangman Page. It's just like, screw all the formalities. Like, I want to win. Like, I want some gold.
Yeah. Going off that, Miami Vice Cody. I think Cody's promos are good. You know what I mean? Like, he knows how to play to the crowd.
This was a really good promo.
He knows how to play to the crowd. He mentions MJF being young. And I think being
on the Rosie
O'Donnell show, which I didn't know. I had to actually YouTube that. And I'm like, wow, this really happened. And then he's saying, basically he's looking for stardom. He's trying to be an old school heel. Taking a shot, by the way, I think at Jim Cornette, because Jim Cornette sings MJF's praises a lot, almost to excess. And of course he accepts all of the stipulations. Thought Cody was great here. Of course, like we've been saying throughout the show, like Cody booking his segments and booking as like that old school face, it works. That's basically all I have to say about that. Like, what'd you think?
I think AEW always playing like Cody segments and then MJF segments like back to back is always like some really funny stuff.
Yeah, do they walk, like they have to walk past each other?
Like I don't see why MJF doesn't like come out and like, oh, you want to talk that smack, but like, are you accepting the stipulations though? Like, why does he come out and do that and get his little heat, and then it will be an easy transition into the next match. Will save a lot of time. And like, last week when like MJF was talking all that stuff, and then Cody just wouldn't come out, and it's just like, defend yourself. Like, what are you doing? It was a good promo. I was nodding my head. I was just like, you know what? I did not hate that. I thought I was really well. We're finally going to see Warlow in action. If he does like, if he looking nasty out there, I'm gonna be very tight because I think Warlow kind of has like a good look. So I'm ready to see like how he works. I'm not familiar with any of his like previous work at all. I don't see anybody talking about it. I think he might just be like, like genuinely brand new. So I'm excited for that. I'll say that.
Branching off that, of course, you had MJF, the Butcher and Blade versus Diamond Dallas Page, Dustin Rhodes, and QT Marshall. I want to hear, before I we give our kind of overall thoughts, I want to see how this came off in the actual live setting.
Rolling my damn eyes. I ain't popping for no 63-year-old DDP. I'm sorry.
He looks good for 63. You have to admit that. Like, I was like, wow, I didn't even know that he was 63.
Yeah, he's 63 and, probably looks like 48.
That damn DDP yoga, man.
that he shamelessly plugging, and you guys probably didn't see it on the broadcast, but like for at least like 3 minutes, how they just do like their backstage shots. It's just DDP doing yoga, backstage. And you just like hear him breathing into the mic for like 3 minutes. That was very weird. I thought MJF and Co were really doing a really good job here. QT Marshall, he did his thing. I think he looked better in this showing than he did in the match with Butcher and Blade with Cody. Dustin Rose, still cool. I think he needs to let the Canadian Destroyer go.
Yes, please stop doing that.
Like old dude doing Destroyer, like okay, like PCO does it, he gets it done to him. The Rock and Roll Express does it. Yeah, like it don't pop me. And I screamed when DDP did his dive because he looked absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, it was.
He looked like the Nirvana baby jumping off the rope.
I mean, I think the last match that DDP's had, I was reading, it was 2004, and it was actually on Impact. I thought that this match, for what it was fun. QT Marshall's somersault tope looked a lot better than it did where he almost got caught in the ropes. I thought that was fun. I thought that, I mean, it did its job where MJF was going to get the win. Cool. Didn't really think much more than that. It was cool to see Diamond Dallas Page kind of wrestle. They definitely limited him, which was actually the right choice. Don't make this a constant thing. Diamond Dallas Page should be like, this should be maybe once in a blue moon thing. And like, I don't want to see, although it was cool to see him here, I don't want to see Diamond Dallas Page wrestle every week. Stay away from that.
I just think, if, I think like last January or whenever the hell AEW did their press conferences, they said they wanted to push young talent. And, I see 63-year-old Diamond Dallas Page, very old Dustin, and I'm not sure how old QT Marshall is. And, I'm kind of just like, maybe, could have put somebody younger, like probably could have had, Joey Janela on the show, but he just like had a promo segment.
Well, okay. For that, you have to get MJF matches, and Joey Janela has a program. So he has to get wins, and Cody and MJF can't touch each other. You still have a little bit month to go until Revolution, so you have to do little things. Like, I'm okay with this six-man. I'm okay with the six-man for now to kind of get off and kind of advance things, because DDP kind of was involved in the storyline. Dustin can still go. So, like, if DDP eats a pin and they take the loss, cool. But
that's whatever.
But only do it. I only want to see it for this week. Like, I don't want to see, like, DDP kind of have a singles match in 2 weeks. Like, that's absurd.
Yeah. Like, I get it. Like, you have a long ways to go till Revolution, which is, that's their mistake. I just think, MJF doesn't have to be featured on every show. Cody doesn't have to be featured on every show. And I think, sometimes nothing is okay, and, putting some different people on the show would probably be, kind of cool. Like, nothing is also an option, just like having them, like, I think it's very easy to separate MJF and Cody if they're just not on the show every week, like, come on, man.
Yeah, but you have to get MJF in the ring, too. Like, you mean, like, he can't just cut promos
Do
all
they?
the time. You have to get Cody in the ring because he's one of their best baby faces that they have. And I don't know if... I mean, I agree with you that you should have more wrestlers featured on Dynamite. But at the same time, like, if you look at, like, their roster, who could you really feature? Like, Jimmy Havoc, I can't... I don't want to be this comment to be taken that I'm being down on Jimmy Havoc, but they've only featured him on hardcore matches. You can't do that every week, especially on Dynamite. You have to find something for him to do. You know what I mean?
I'm not fairly high on Jimmy Havoc. Like, I'm not really a big fan of his indie work, but like, I would like to be a fan. And, he's on this show that I have access to weekly that I can watch, and I don't see Jimmy Havoc, Like, there's probably a small minority, but, like, maybe, like, people that are fans of Jimmy Havoc would actually like to see him on the show. And maybe he can wrestle that's, like, not hardcore matches, same as Joey Janela. I could probably, like, I think the Hybrid 2, they're, like, two great, like, singles competitors. I would take that. But the six-man with Diamond Dallas Page was okay. It ended at, like, the result is right. I can't say, like, it ended well. Like, I think the Canadian Destroyer and I think he got hit in the nuts as well.
Yeah,
like,
he did.
Yeah, like, and MJF was taking all the offense and still won in the end. So I guess that's okay.
To wrap things up here, we had a AOW title contender mini tournament throughout the night. So we had Jon Moxley, basically. Sammy Guevara is basically the wrestler.
He is the young guy. He's the young guy that they're featuring, and I think he's like the only one. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
Well, he is the wrestler of the Inner Circle because it seems like he wrestles there every single week, and we haven't seen we didn't see Santana Ortiz until this week. Jake Hager has not wrestled at all yet. Jericho is the champion, so I kind of get that, why he wouldn't wrestle this week. And plus he was, I guess, in Japan the previous week. Cool. But, I mean, I'm like, Sammy Guevara is literally every single week. Like, I'm like...
Yeah, he's their workhorse.
He's their workhorse. Jon Moxley was taking a lot of... I was surprised because he was taking a lot of offense from Sammy. He was really trying to, like, make it his way to, like, get him over, which I'm not really used to seeing from Jon Moxley. That was kind of like a different wrinkle that I thought that was kind of cool. The finish. He actually didn't finish him with the DDT. He actually did it with the choke. I'm like, all right, that's kind of cool. What do you think about, first of all, not only the match, but like the segment after? He had to get his comeuppance from making the Inner Circle look dumb, and then Jericho spikes him. Like,
well, just on the match, I thought the match was okay. Moxley and Sammy Guevara did their thing. The segment after, I thought, I didn't think I would see Jericho. I thought it was pretty cool. Like, when they do lights out, the lights out thing, and you'd be like, oh, where the hell does the wrestler come from? It is wild that, like, from where I was sitting, they turned the lights off, and it seemed like it took forever for everybody to get there. But I can see Jericho's silhouette, like, running. That shit killed me. Could not stop laughing. But, yeah, they beat his ass pretty bad. Was like literally was not expecting all that. Like him whipping him like with the belt, like he was hitting him like with the side plates. I thought that was really bad. What else happened to him? They spiked him, and I'm not sure if it came off in the broadcasting, but Jon Moxley was in there like running back and forth for a really long time, and I was just like, please take it backstage.
It did come off like in the broadcast like that.
I was because they had like the medical staff. They had like one dude out there trying to check his eye, and he's like running back and forth. And I'm just like, yo, take that shit backstage. Like, just inspect them backstage. Like, let's get a health update later.
So to end the night, we have Pac and Darby Allin. I thought this was really good. They need another young guy that they feature, Darby Allin. He takes a lot of losses, which I don't like. I don't like that.
I don't think it affects his character, or at least his perception on the people. But like, yeah, he does eat a lot of pins.
But I didn't think that he was going to beat Pac. I think that both men worked really well off each other. I remember you mentioning, it's like Darby Allin, like, does he run the ropes the right?
Yeah, so I had this theory for a really long time that I don't think, like, Darby Allin probably hit the ropes probably like 4 times in that match, so, I ate my words, but I think, I saw a match last week, I think, or just like some gifs last week, where, like, usually wrestlers hit the ropes before they do topes outside, and Darby Allin doesn't. He always does that little slide thing, and I was just like, do you not hit the ropes, bro? Like, or is it just like a personal choice that you just like, nah, fuck it, I could gander up enough speed, from like half court, But yeah, he hit the ropes, and I was just like, oh shit, I'm surprised, bro.
He either does the slide or the little flip that he does. He does that a lot.
Yeah. So, and I was just like, damn, bro, like. Like he does like whatever he can to like not touch the ropes or a turnbuckle.
So, Moxley, of course, like with one eye, he says, like it doesn't matter, like if he has, he's gonna come and kick Pac's ass next week. So next week, right? It's gonna be on the Jericho Cruise. Live from the Jericho Cruise, maybe taped, I think. So you have SCU and Omega Hangman Page, Moxley versus Pac in the #1 contenders match, and you also are going to have Jurassic Express versus the Inner Circle, or like Jericho versus where he says that he's going to beat up Jungle Boy. Yes, the Jericho Cruise.
He'll be facing Jungle Boy again.
Yeah, so your thoughts on the Jericho Cruise and if you'll ever attend?
So, fun, just a little pull the curtain, I guess. They were just like, oh, so you all elite now after I bought my AEW tickets. And they said, when you're gonna attend the Jericho Cruise, because it does it does like start in Miami and go into the Bahamas. I'm not going on no damn Jericho Cruise. No, I'm not going on no damn Jericho Cruise unless somebody pays for 2 tickets so I could bring somebody with me. Because I ain't going on no damn Mark tour of the sea alone. So y'all better put some money in from y'all tax returns and see what y'all could do next year.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try to do that. We're gonna try.
Y'all some monsters.
So we're gonna start this a year early. Everybody who's listening, I'm gonna start to get Cyrus on the Jericho Cruise next year. I think it's.
I ain't spending a damn dime. So if you $1 short, fuck you.
So It's only 4 days, I think. They have, I think, celebrity bowling and stuff like that, so you can bowl with, like, say, Joey Janela, or somebody like that. Gonna start this.
Kiss my ass.
Gonna start this. I'm gonna actually build a web page for this and see what we can do. We got a year before it, so I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my damnedest to try to get this done.
Yo, kiss my... I swear to God, if y'all raise enough money, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
Let's get into NXT because we have a lot to get into. NXT UK Takeover Blackpool II. What did you think was the best match, and what do you think was the worst match? I have a feeling we are going to agree on what the worst match was.
I think it's an unanimous decision on what the worst match is. But I think the best match on the show was the women's match. I think I love the women's match a lot. You spoke the truth of Kaylee Ray. I said I believed a little bit. Because, I did like her War Game showing and her showing last week in the six women tag. But here, she's a monster, bro. She's really fearless. She's like, she does some really cool stuff. I think Toni Storm was very healing it up here as well, or just being like what is it? Just like a weird like baby face kind of situation where she's like, I'm trying to do the right thing, but I look like a dickhead in the process, or I'm willing to do anything to win. And I think Piper Niven. Now, when Piper Niven did the Canadian Destroyer, I popped because I wasn't expecting that at all from her. I like that match a lot. I know a lot of people are saying like Tyler Bate and Jordan Devlin, but I did tune out for a little bit of that match, so I can't say it was the best. Personally,
my best match, I'm gonna go with Tyler Bate and Jordan Devlin. I just think that it's amazing. That's a quintessential thing where even though a guy loses, both guys get over. These two are amazing wrestlers. Tyler Bate, I mean, what can I say? It was about, I think, 22 minutes. It's
the GOAT, bro. Like, Tyler Bate's some really, really cool shit.
Love that match. Of course, listen, I've been singing Kaylee Ray's praises for a long time now. I'm glad that everybody's coming around. That was another great match from these three ladies. I'm loving that they're playing that Toni is starting to lose it a little bit because she's, you know what I mean? Like, because Kaylee Ray came and stole the win. Loved it here. The
RNC triple threat finish. Somebody does their finisher. Get the hell out the ring. I'ma pin them. I thought it was a really cool finish for that match.
The tag team title ladder match. Another good match. I don't agree with the winner.
Oh, absolutely not. Because I think we both predicted that they wouldn't win.
Yeah, I don't think that Gallus should have retained. Let's get into our worst match real fast.
The main event.
Why did this
main event was butt?
Why did this have to be 28 minutes? 28 minutes. Why do Walter matches always have to go long? I don't get it.
Well, yeah, especially when Walter is like, kind of like this destroyer in NXT UK. I also think like, not everybody is as high on Joe Coffey as I am. And I think in this match, egg on my face, I feel embarrassed for even saying that I like him as much as I do.
Oh, man.
This match is very boring. I will say, after that ladder match, and the Jordan Devlin and Tyler Bate match, like, I'm tired. And I actually fell asleep during Walter and Joe Coffey.
Oh.
I think about 8 minutes in, I was done.
Oh man,
I passed I passed out, and then I woke up, and all I see is Stone Cold talking on my TV.
I just think, as a main event, I don't think Joe Coffey's the guy. I just don't think that, like, that ref bump also, why? Like, that polar...
Yeah, I heard there was a ref bump, and that's kind of like what made me not want to go back and see it, because I hate ref bumps. That prolongs a match for far too long. I saw gifs of it and stuff, and I think I've seen enough. Like, once again, a Joe Coffey title match that goes far too long instantly gets overshadowed by a moment that happens once the bell rings, which was literally like the start, like what really fueled this feud. Like, Joe Coffey has a match with Pete Dunne, gets his ass beat. Walter comes out. People forget that Joe Coffey even existed after that.
He got kicked out of the ring.
Yeah, he got bitched out by Walter on his debut, and then he finally gets his revenge on Walter for that happening. He loses, and then instantly he's forgotten because Undisputed Era showed up to set up kind of like the match for Worlds Collide.
Hey, I predicted that. I was like, what if Undisputed Era showed up? And you know what? They did. And some people were upset.
Fired. They beat the dog shit out of Walter, bro.
And some people were upset that, like, they got their comeuppance on Imperium on NXT UK, and they said that they looked weak. I'm like, well, how would you build Worlds Collide then? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, just have them talk it out. Oh, okay. Come on, guys.
Who's to say that Imperium don't show up to NXT this week and beat the hell out of Undisputed Era? They could very well do that.
Yeah. I think they said way to make NXT UK look weak by Walter getting beat up by some Americans, and I was just like, all right, bro, this is getting real national. It ain't that serious. They have a match at Worlds Collide and they're trying to build it, and this is how they do so. Also, it was a very big moment that shocked everybody, and it was cool, and Walter this week on NXT, they did the preview, the update, and Walter was just like, "Ayo, AEW? I mean, not AEW, Undisputed Era? Y'all lose." And then, they gave, Walter was fucking pissed. And I think that heats it up.
So, going off of that, let's talk about the main NXT show. Oh, I hate to say main NXT show because it's we're putting down the UK, but
no, that is absolutely the case. But
so the Dusty Classic matches. Of course, we had Riddle and Dunn, the Broserweights versus Flash Gordon, Webster, Mark Andrews, Subculture. I like this match. It's a dynamic. With two small guys and two larger guys, it worked very well for me. I did not think that Flash Morgan and Mark Andrews were going to win. I mean, you don't put Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne together to have them lose. It's just not going to happen. The crowd loved it. I thought it was a really good opener. What are your thoughts on that match?
That shit heat. A lot of these Dusty Classic matches are really good. I think if you're not watching NXT UK, I think the performance that Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews put together, you should be watching at least, or just at least have an interest or take a peek at a certain point in time. They're doing some really good. They have some really good wrestlers on NXT UK, and I know a lot of people aren't a large fan of British wrestling, so they kind of just dismiss it. But just look, just look at this match. They're doing this on NXT UK, and I definitely think you should be checking these dudes out.
You also had the Grizzled Young Veterans versus the Time Splitters. I know a lot of people were sad that the Time Splitters were lost here, but you were gonna always have two NXT UK tag teams move on. Like you don't want to make them look weak.
Yeah, like one of like not all of the NXT UK teams could have got knocked out of the tournament. You know.
I've been another team I've been kind of singing the praises of, like Grizzled Young Veterans. I'm glad that they won here, and I do not think, even though Al Shelley does have some ROH dates, he's not signed there. I don't think this is the last time we're going to see the Time Splitters. I think that they will be back.
That's wild. He got some ROH dates, and I mean. They did the Jushin Thunder Liger thing, but no, that's fire that they got him, even though he didn't like sign.
Yeah, he's a freelancer, so like he kind of goes back and forth. I don't think this is the last time we're going to see them. I think that they will come back.
That's what.
Down the line, I'm all for it, man. It was good to see them back together, and I don't want, I want them to back, and I don't want Kushida to kind of get buried either, you know. So like if you
like. People that are like, you know, people that are, you know, overreacting over this, like, you know, maybe he didn't sign, so, you know, it is what it is. I do like the reunion, and they could obviously come back whenever, so it's fine. Also, like, I want to see Kushida as a singles competitor, you know? I want to see him win some singles titles.
So, Swerve Scott versus Tyler Breeze versus Lio Rush. This is to enter the Fatal 4-Way match for the Cruiserweight title at Worlds Collide. Another really good match. Okay, so I think the main stars in this is Swerve and Lio. Tyler Breeze is obviously, he's not as, let's just say, as mobile as Swerve and Lio, but he tries to kind of do more of the power stuff. But Swerve and Lio
he would... Tyler Breeze was really anchoring them down, and I think that's fine if you can't, like, you know, if you can't keep up, you might as well try to slow everybody down, and I think, you know, that's a good strategy. I don't think that's a knock on Tyler Breeze at all.
No, I think that he serves his purpose, and he's still, you know, a really good wrestler that anchored this here. I'm excited that Swerve won. Leo lost. Okay, cool, but you could always heat Leo up. He's talented. I would love to see him get on the mic more. But like, I want to see Swerve kind of in that spotlight, and you'll get to see it at Worlds Collide.
Worlds Collide is
looking insane.
You remember what? You remember when they were trying to get us excited for Worlds Collide with Travis Banks matches? Like, what the hell?
Well, Travis Banks has a qualifying match.
Oh, what? That's fine, but whatever, bro.
So speaking of Worlds Collide, a concurrent theme that was running throughout NXT was Undisputed Era. Keith Lee, who cut a great promo, who's fighting Roderick Strong next week, he gets beat up by Undisputed Era. Tommaso Ciampa gets attacked by Undisputed Era, where Johnny Gargano comes out and helps, and it looks like DIY are back together. Why? Because they are fighting Mustache Mountain at Worlds Collide. Holy shit.
And I see some people are upset about this. I'm just like, hey, bro, shut up, nerd.
Well, it's like
this match is like, this match gonna be heat, bro. Like, I'm like, I ain't gonna be mad. I'm not gonna be mad that you know, they're literally putting on a dream match for Worlds Collide.
Yeah, you got to understand that like NXT has to book Worlds Collide, and they also have to build up to Portland. Finn already has his hands full because he's fighting Ilya Dragunov at Worlds Collide too. That was another match that was kind of announced during this thing. So why not have DIY go against Mustache Mountain? Trent and Tyler are going to work their asses off against Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. How do you not want that? Now, like, I don't understand
Like-
people complaining about it.
Like, I get it. Like, they already said that Mustache Mountain was going to be, like, DIY wasn't going to be together anymore, so, why are they doing it now? Like, for Worlds Collide, dickhead. Like, pay attention. It's not like, they're going to go back on NXT and be DIY again. They're going to go back into their individual singles feuds. So, it is what it is.
So to wrap everything up, we had an NXT Women's Championship #1 contender battle royal.
All heat. All heat.
I loved it. I just want to say some of the notables real quick. So you had returning Tegan Knox. You had Deonna Purrazzo in there also. You had new sign, and congratulations to her, Mercedes Martinez.
Go.
Indy Hartwell was also in there. Vanessa Bourne. Catalina. Also a new wrestler, MJ Jenkins. There too.
No, she was in the Mae Young Classic. So,
She was there too. Santana Garrett, Kaden Carter. But, to everybody's surprise and much chagrin, Shayna Baszler.
woo! Queen of Spades, baby. Yo. I already read this, like, it was already spoiled for me that Shayna was going to be in the match. But, like, the directing, everybody's getting ready, thinking the bell gonna ring. Horses, you know what it is, bitch. Shayna came out with a towel. I'm in this bitch. I love this so much.
She didn't disappoint because she eliminated a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not
Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah, Shotzi Blackheart. Casey Catanzaro came back too. That was pretty cool to see her back. I love the interaction that Mercedes and Shayna had. That was pretty cool. Tegan and Dakota continuing their feud, even though I'm like, Jesus, like, Dakota threw that bracelet to her face pretty hard.
Yeah, dead at her face, like, damn. I love this. I love this battle royale a lot.
Bianca looked really strong too. She looked really strong.
Yeah.
The crowd was squarely behind Io Shirai. Very behind.
Oh,
Io
yeah.
Shirai.
They wanted her to win so bad. So, like, whenever they need to, make her #1 contender, and then, easy work, The NXT women division is stacked here, and you could clearly see that from, like, all the women that are in this match. Like, the little things that I love is that, like, they have all these people here who are, like, super new. They don't have all the, they don't have much TV time under their belt, but, like, they're in this battle royale and they're lasting for a very long time. They weren't just bodies to, like, easily be thrown out. Like, you have Shotzi Blackheart eliminating Shayna Baszler, which was, like, huge.
I love that.
So
I love that.
God knows what's going to happen there. Like, Shayna's going to, start doing feud. Like, what does a non-title Shayna feud look like?
Okay, so the Royal Rumble's almost here. Shayna's gonna be in that, right? Like,
hey, man, I know all of us are all very, like, man, Bianca, Shayna, blah blah blah. Like, yo, they need to leave already. Like, yo, Triple H, let them go. And then, I see moments like, like this battle royale, and I'm just like, I think they're straight here. I'm excited to see whatever Shayna does. that's non-title, you know? Is she gonna like start putting people over, or you know, is she gonna like just be dominant again and just, you know, eventually just leave before her be dominant before her departure? I'm like us getting a Shotzi Blackheart match versus Shayna Baszler at Takeover Portland. Like, sign me the hell up. Like, that might not be like the route, but shit, I want to see it. Like, I'm excited for whatever Shayna does. I like Shayna Baszler a lot.
The crowd loved that Shotzi thing too. Like when she did the like they were like Shotzi. I was like,
yeah.
I'm like, that's how you get a new wrestler over. That's how you do it.
Yeah,
and it doesn't hurt Shayna because she's eventually going to leave. You know what I mean? And she's Shayna Baszler. She looked abnormally strong in the Battle Royal, but I think the final two, Bianca and Io.
I absolutely love when, you know, these like kind of matches, you know, there's only two people left, so it just becomes all that, like, it just becomes like a singles match. And man, if we ever get Bianca Io, just like, you know, like a singles match, like this women's division is really good.
It really is, and they make really good use of basically everybody. Bianca's your number one contender. She's going to fight Rhea in Portland. I don't think that she's going to win. I think that Io is going to fight Rhea. That's your Mania feud because she's super over. But I think that Bianca. While I hate her. Okay, so while I hate that she could possibly lose again here, move her up. Well, I hate to say, or move her laterally to Raw. Please.
Yeah.
She's done all she can. She looked great in this Battle Royal. Raw needs a very charismatic heel wrestler to go against Becky.
Please. To go against Charlotte, because I'm not trying to see Sarah Logan again on my TV ever. I'm sorry. I'm gonna chill out on saying on you know, call these people up, because I think NXT is doing some really interesting stuff with a lot of people here. So I'm turning my back on the Shayna needs to be called up. I think she's great on NXT. What else? I don't know. Just like NXT just has like a lot of like stuff that I'm like, just the women's division like makes me excited for a lot of stuff. Like, you know, Indy Hartwell being like, you know, having her TV debut here. Shotzi Blackheart being featured regularly. Zia Lee being around, the Tegan Knox, and it's just like a lot of stuff. I love this women's division a lot, and when Bianca eliminated Io, that was a hard landing.
Yeah, like
Io flew.
She flew. It didn't look like she had a chance to kind of like hit her feet real fast. Where it looked like when the ref checked on her, she was legit surprised, like, because she hit so hard
that she's not dead.
Yeah. Like, Io takes a lot of hard bumps.
There, like, I don't think there was any way to really protect herself. She just had to take the bump as it was, just like flat on her back like a monster.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh.
But you know, Stardom alumni, bruh. That back bump was probably like a stub in her toe.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts that you have on NXT Dynamite, your adventure, anything before we sign off?
Screw the Watco Center for not letting me use their elevator. AEW. Like, I thought it was cool. Like you said, like, there's a lot of reoccurring storylines that they're like really putting together, and I think that's really cool. Love it. You know, just some continuity. That's really cool to have. I think a lot of the stuff that that only gets shown on Fight TV needs to stop, because they're still winning the ratings war, but people are missing a lot of stuff, and I think that's kind of messed up that they're missing stuff on the show. Not everybody's going to cop Fight TV, especially if they pay for a cable subscription. So I think they should be prioritizing TV. If next week on Dark, Shauna and Nyla Rose are having a tables match, and whatever, it's kind of sloppy. There's some botches, some slips and stuff like that, but it's a really good match. I love Shauna a lot. And as far as NXT UK, I will still be checking it out regularly. It was said on the A show, whenever there's a pay-per-view, there's always just a really long video package or just something that sums it all up, so you don't really have to watch week to week. So that's the plan, baby. I'm just only gonna watch what is it, it's called Prime Target.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're gonna do it this week because you got to build to Worlds Collide, so you might have some.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's gonna be I think that's going to be an NXT UK takeover, exclusive, the Prime Target stuff. I think that stuff is great. Definitely keep it up. I'm excited for Worlds Collide. Can't wait for that. I love the NXT Women's Division. I can't talk about it enough. I'm excited for literally anything and everything that could possibly happen, except the Chelsea Green stuff. Not with it. I don't care. And I think it's weird that they put the video package together on the WWE PC YouTube channel, where they're super excited to be on Raw together, and Donna gets featured once. Chelsea Green is featured on Main Event twice, and then sent back to NXT. They both get sent back to NXT, and then they're separated.
Well, I mean,
what the hell?
We still got to figure that out. I've been on record to say that Deanna's really. I think that she's a really talented wrestler.
I think she's great.
Chelsea, I mean, I think she's okay.
Not as great.
But we'll see what happens with the Robert Stone stuff. Next week, we got Lee versus Strong for the North American title, and we had 2 Dusty Classic semifinals.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, on ALW, we got the Jericho Cruise and whatever goes down there. Of course, we had number 1 contenders match. Not really sure what they're going to have for the women because they haven't announced anything yet, but I'm sure they will. And of course, for our show, we got another event. We got our Worlds Collide preview show because we got to do our predictions because it's next Saturday. Yeah. And
next Saturday, what am I doing Saturday? I'll be here.
So that is it for the War Report this week. As always, you could follow us at RNC Radio Live on Twitter, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud.
Literally anywhere you get your podcasts.
Of course, we have a new episode of RSBN. Got a new episode of the Big Eye Podcast. We also we also have first episode of the Black Variant with X and Van Rid. It's a really good comic podcast. And they talk about the Joker and Academy Awards run, New Mutants, Birds of Prey. That's pretty dope. Of course, we have the A Show, a new Perfect Play podcast. We have a new Chatting with Nelson. He talks to Chris Toro. So for spot callers, of course, you're going to bring that back. Do you have anything for January yet?
We'll be recording next week, and I think the episode will be going up when I think the same day as Worlds Collide. I hope, or there'll be an episode in 2 weeks from now. I threw a show up there I threw a show in the air, and to no surprise, all I get a text back is "ew" from J5. So we'll see what's being watched. But I'm trying to make sure it's not an ROH show.
And also, we have a new Mount Silver episode of the Mount Silver podcast too. So
yes,
we got it.
Game Freak is a liar. They could have put way more Pokemon in the game, but they said no so they could sell it back to you. Nintendo and Game Freak are scum. Stop buying Switches.
Yep, that is it for us, and we will talk to you next week.